We have an update in the Jay-Z and Diddy lawsuit. Tony Buzbee has responded to Jay-Z's motion to throw out the lawsuit against him and Diddy, so let's get into it. Tony Buzbee is alleging that Jay-Z's motion to throw out the lawsuit is an attempt to silence the Jane Doe who alleges that 24 years ago when she was 13 years old, she was SA'd by Jay-Z and Diddy. Tony Buzbee is saying that Jay-Z and his lawyer have made false claims, and he's also saying that this lawsuit can't be thrown out before the discovery process. Tony Buzbee says that the Jane Doe was referred to his law firm in October of 2024 by the ABA Law Group, who are co-counsel in this action. Tony Buzbee said before the Jane Doe was even referred to his office that the attorneys at ABA Law Firm investigated the plaintiff's allegations. The plaintiff went through the ABA Law Firm's intake process, which Tony Buzbee's firm understood to include numerous interviews, including an interview by at least one and possibly more attorneys. Only when the attorneys at ABA Law were convinced that the plaintiff's allegations were true did they refer the plaintiff to Buzbee. In addition, the attorneys at ABA Law Firm prepared the initial version of the original complaint. Two attorneys at the Buzbee Law Firm interviewed the plaintiff, fact-checked various aspects of the plaintiff's complaint, and revised the complaint prior to its filing. Prior to filing this lawsuit and naming Sean Carter as a defendant, Mr. Buzbee and other attorneys at the firm engaged in rigorous and due diligence to investigate the claims made by the plaintiff. The Buzbee Law Firm efforts included, among other things, intensive interviews amounting to cross-examination of the plaintiff by 3 to 5 attorneys, both alone and in teams. Research, verification of numerous details in the plaintiff's accounts, and the Buzbee Law Firm ran a background check on the plaintiff and retained a retired police detective to research and confirm other aspects of her accounts. The Buzbee Law Firm also conducted research to confirm the close connection between Jay-Z and Diddy, which further bolstered the conclusion that the plaintiff's allegations were plausible, credible, and warranted legal recourse. First, Jay-Z's lawyers went after the plaintiff's allegations that she watched the BMAs on a jumbotron because they claimed that there was no jumbotron at Radio City that night. Even if this was a material fact, which it is not, Carter's lawyers failed to consider that the plaintiff could have watched a jumbotron somewhere else, such as blocks away in the Times Square area. And Tony Buzbee claims, in fact, there were jumbotrons not far from the BMA show. Second, Jay-Z's lawyers claim to have debunked the plaintiff's allegations that she approached limousine drivers in hopes of gaining entry to the BMAs or the after parties because they assert that the limousines were cordoned off by police barricades and inaccessible to fans. But it is clear from the video and photos on which Mr. Carter's lawyers rely, the small limousine area at the entrance to the Radio City is not where limousines parked during the show, but rather where they dropped off and picked up guests. Thus, nothing about the photos and videos proves that the plaintiff did not approach several limousine drivers parked nearby, and the limousine area is thus irrelevant. He includes the video of J-Lo and Diddy getting out of a limousine in front of the BMAs. Jay-Z's lawyers also argued that public property records confirmed that Diddy did not even own a residence at the time that matched the plaintiff's description, pointing to property records for 40 Hedges Bank Drive in East Hamptons, New York, which purportedly reflect that Diddy did not own this residence until 2001. However, this argument fails for at least 2 reasons. First, the plaintiff does not allege that the home that she was taken to was owned by Diddy, but in any event, Carter's lawyer's representation to the court that Combs did not own 40 Hedges Bank Drive in 2000 is plainly false. Property records revealed that Diddy was first listed on a deed on 40 Hedges Bank Drive on March 13th of 1998, and that he or a company owned by him owned the property until its selling on July 23rd of 2020. He adds a whole list of these property records with Diddy's name on it for owning this residence. And he claims, in fact, Diddy's notorious white parties, which Jay-Z attended, were held here. And also adds a couple photos of Jay-Z at these white parties that Diddy would throw at this residence. Tony Buzbee also talked about in the early 2000s at this same residence when Diddy got in a little bit of legal trouble for having a crazy party at this house, and it was reported in a news article. Puff Daddy coughed up $2,000 yesterday as he took the rap for throwing a wild party in the Hamptons last summer. Puffy, aka Sean Combs, pleaded guilty to violating his party permit for a 4th of July bash at his East Hampton estate. Cops raided Puffy's party at his $2.5 million vacation home at 11 p.m., a full hour past the time limit on his permit. They found more than 700 people inside, while the permit only allowed for 200 guests. Tony Buzbee also said that Jay-Z's lawyers made irrelevant arguments that photographs show that he attended a party at a nightclub in New York and that Diddy was photographed at the Lotus nightclub as well as another establishment in New York City. However, even the NBC report on which Carter heavily relies on conceded that it's not clear what time these images were taken or if Diddy and Jay-Z attended any other after parties. Tony Buzbee also said that the Jane Doe alleging that she saw Benji Madden at this party is not enough to throw out this lawsuit without discovery. He said that this could be a normal thing that a lot of SA victims, especially children, could misremember facts, and it's actually written in law this way. And Tony Buzbee also touches on the fact that Jane Doe's father said that he doesn't think that he remembers going to pick her up. And Tony Buzbee said he said it himself, he doesn't remember, but this could also be the Jane Doe's trauma from being an SA victim as a child. Tony Buzbee is saying no matter what, Jay-Z has no right to try to get this lawsuit thrown out until the discovery process has been completed. And Tony Buzbee even brings up those private investigators that he alleged were offering his former clients money to file lawsuits against him, who he believes was hired by Roc Nation, who is facing multiple lawsuits from the former clients of Tony Buzbee right now. Tony Buzbee said since the initiation of this lawsuit, many past and current employees and clients of my firm have reported being approached and harassed by individuals claiming to be investigating me and my firm and urging the clients to sue us. These investigators even contacted my daughter. Several former clients even have been offered money to sue us. We were able to catch this illegal activity on tape on several occasions. These so-called investigators claim to be working for the state or the feds. And he claims that one of the private investigators that he caught on tape said that she was working for an attorney named Marcy Croft, and Marcy Croft has connections to Jay-Z's Roc Nation. And this isn't even everything listed in this motion by Tony Buzbee. This motion is super long. I will add the whole thing over on my Patreon at KadishaLynn so you guys can read the whole thing for yourself. But y'all, let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments.